Hey everyone! So today we're doing something a little different. Forget the flashcards, forget the boring lists. We're going to learn 23 new words and phrases by weaving them into one single story. A really good one, actually, about art, a huge scandal, and a pretty epic comeback. So here's the big question. Can we actually pull this off? Can one story about a painter in trouble really make all this new vocabulary stick in your brain? I think it can. Okay, let's dive into this and see for ourselves. All right. Every great story needs unforgettable characters, right? So let's meet the artist at the heart of our story and get a feel for the pretty complicated world he's living in. Our story kicks off with this brilliant young painter. And he's not just some random guy. He's the scion of a super famous artistic family. But listen, he's not just riding on his family's name. This guy is a genuine virtuoso. His talent has the entire art world just buzzing. Okay, so let's lock these two words in. As a scion, he comes from this really important, notable family line. And as a virtuoso, well, he has this incredible, almost magical skill with a paintbrush. So you've got legacy and talent. That's a powerful mix. But, behind closed doors, his life was different. A total contrast to his public image, really. He was completely luxurious. I mean, he just doted on his wife, maybe even a little too much. She, on the other hand, was not exactly returning the favor. In fact, she had a reputation for being a bit of a termagant. And you can really see the tension here, can't you? He is luxurious, completely devoted to his wife. And she is a termagant, a scolding, bad-tempered woman. It basically creates this pressure cooker of a home life. And that tension, well, it's about to boil over. And yep, that private pressure is about to explode into a massive, very public crisis. Welcome to Act 2 of our story, the slander and the scandal. And then, the bomb drops. An anonymous letter gets leaked to the press. And the accusation is just devastating. It's the perfect piece of slander, totally designed to ruin him. It claims he's a complete fraud, a cheat who never painted any of his famous works himself. The public reaction is immediate. And it is brutal. This really shows you how fickle fame can be. One day, he's hailed as a genius. The very next, he's a total outcast. The public, who used to adore him, now turns on him completely, whispering that his amazing career is sure to just die out. So let's be super clear about these terms. Slander is that nasty, false statement made to wreck someone's reputation. Fickle, that describes the public's crazy fast, disloyal change of heart. And the big fear is that his career will die out, just poof, vanish like it was never there. The situation is just awful. So this public disaster leads to a really deep personal one. He's facing this huge puzzle, but it's one where he feels this crushing weight of responsibility, even though he's totally innocent. His whole world just collapses. The future, which used to look so bright, now seems incredibly bleak, just cold, with absolutely no hope. And here's the strange part. Even though he did nothing wrong, a part of him feels culpable, as if he somehow deserves all this blame. And these two words, they really get to the heart of his despair. Bleak perfectly describes that hopeless outlook, and culpable is that awful feeling of guilt, that sense that you deserve to be blamed. He's completely trapped inside his own head. Now his wife, the termagant, is furious. She wants to sue, she wants public fights, she wants revenge. But he knows you can't just do away with rumors like this. I mean, fighting them usually just makes them stronger. So he forborne. He held himself back from reacting in anger. He even had to gently reprove his wife, telling her to be cautious instead of going on the attack. So his strategy here is one of incredible self-control. He knows he can't just do away with the problem by force. Instead, he has forborne from doing something rash, and he has to gently reprove his wife's more aggressive instincts. Look, it's a huge gamble, but it's the only one he's got. So, completely overwhelmed and with no idea what to do next, he turns to an age-old source of wisdom, sleep. He's hoping to find some clarity in the land of Nod. That night, he decides he just has to sleep on it, put off the big decision until morning. He hit the hay way earlier than usual, and he was so exhausted that he was out like a light. In just moments, he was deep in the land of Nod. Look at this. We've got 4 different phrases that all mean basically the same thing. To sleep on it means to wait and think. Hit the hay just means go to bed. To be out like a light is to fall asleep instantly.
And being in the land of Nod, well, that just means you're asleep. He's hoping for an answer in his dreams, and believe it or not, he's about to find one. And when he wakes up, clarity. The fog has lifted. He has a plan, a real path forward. And this brings us to our final act, the chaste comeback.
His plan is so simple, but it's brilliant. First, he's just going to disappear, wait for the scandal to die down. Second, while he's gone, he's going to develop a totally new, radically different, almost chaste style of painting, so pure and simple that nobody could ever claim he faked it. Third, he'll reemerge and prove to everyone that he's invincible. And fourth, with this strategy, he's convinced his comeback will be a cinch.
So let's break down this comeback language because it's so good. He waits for the noise to die down. His new style is chaste, pure, unadorned. He's going to prove he is invincible, unbeatable. And with all this, he feels his success is a cinch, an absolute certainty.
And it works. It totally works. With this clear plan, he can finally frolic in his studio again. He's moving with this joyful creative energy he hasn't felt in months. And he creates a whole new body of work that is so unique, so personal, that no one on earth can disagree with its authenticity. And that brings us to our final two phrases. To frolic is to play and move around cheerfully, which is exactly what he's doing in his studio now. And his new art, well, it's something no one can disagree with. It is so clearly him that its origin is undeniable. He's taken back his story, and he's saved his career. Which really leaves us with one final thought, doesn't it? Our artist couldn't erase the awful things people said about him, so instead, he wrote a brand new, much more powerful chapter to his story. It really makes you wonder, when other people are trying to write your story, maybe the strongest defense isn't to argue back, but to create something so new and so powerful that they just can't ignore it.